Hey, what's up? This is Frank Mandolini of the Last Minute Wrestling Podcast. Thank you for checking this video and make sure to leave a thumbs up below. And in the description, you will find the link to follow me on all social media and on Spotify and Apple Podcast, which conveniently is the place where you should leave a 5-star review to help other people get into this wonderful podcast named Last Minute Wrestling Podcast. Thank you so much. Enjoy the video. Hi, Nav. How you doing?
Frank, what's going on? Thank you so much for having me.
That's an amazing opportunity, actually. We had a little bit chat before starting to record this conversation, and I told you that literally interviews just like this one are the main reason I wanted to start this whole podcast, because there is so much to talk about when we talk about the business side of wrestling, in my opinion. And with your firm, you are literally demonstrating that. So tell me, before we start and jump into the shirt, the WWE line of shirt that you produced, tell me a little bit about you. How did you become a wrestling fan?
Look, Frank, I have been, fascinated and in love with professional wrestling for as long as I can remember. Being 30 years old, I'm a 90s kid. So, my earliest memories of watching wrestling or being exposed to wrestling, I think I was only 4 years old. I must have been unable to sleep late at night, coming downstairs, trying to look for my dad. I'm hearing a little bit of commotion downstairs in the living room. And there, my dad's just watching, I think, it's the WWF at the time. I'm sure it was either Bret Hart or The Undertaker, Ultimate Warrior. One of those. To me, as a young child, I think I just immediately connected with the fact that these are real-life superheroes, and something about the pageantry, the athleticism, and just the sheer showmanship. It just immediately you get caught in the allure, and it's something that's been a constant pretty much my whole life. I've always been a fan.
So you started watching in the new generation era, right?
For sure. I think, first exposed probably 4 or 5 years old, but 8-9 years old, 98, early Attitude Era, I'm hooked. I'm sort of, the length that you have to go to as a young kid to watch wrestling in the UK is such an interesting thing. A lot of many people might be able to relate. I used to pretend to be asleep, sneak downstairs, and if I get caught, I would press the record button, leave it put on a VHS and watch Raw the following morning. It would be like, I think, midnight. For Friday nights on Raw, and then obviously pay-per-views was, dangerous o'clock if you're a 10, 11-year-old.
Oh, yeah. I totally can relate. I actually stopped watching wrestling live because at the tender age of 33, I can't do this anymore.
I know how you feel, and thank God for being able to pause and record on the box set.
Yeah, today's kids don't realize how lucky they are to have the WWE Network or whatever, or Fight TV or all these kind of streaming platforms.
No, it's a luxury. It's an absolute luxury. And sometimes it wouldn't record, or you'd record over something else. You come back in the morning to play back Raw and it's not there. But look, I will say this, something about being a kid in the Attitude Era, the fact that period of wrestling was so almost rebellious and almost X-rated, and something almost naughty about watching it, and then obviously yourself having to do certain things to be able to watch it, it made it even more exciting, that had the whole thrill. So there was friends and family that were doing the same thing, and it was nice to have that in common. We bonded over that, a lot of my friends and family and I doing the same thing in different houses.
Yeah, totally, because it was cool to break the rules in order to watch wrestling. So yeah, you're totally right. And then, of course, you went growing up. You went to another direction in your career. You went into marketing, and you became a stylist. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I never would have foresaw a lot of the path that I ended up taking. I left university in a difficult time in the UK around 2012. It was an crisis here, and even though you may achieve a bachelor's degree or any form of degree, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to walk into your career choice. I was someone always passionate about marketing. I didn't it could have just been something I was interested in, and I would have backed the product or service to the fullest. But I found myself just very, very drawn towards the entertainment industry. My first job was in music and film, and I was assistant, so working for a small independent film company, a small budget, so we had to think very creatively with small amounts of financial income that we had to be able to put towards pushing the small films that we were putting out. It then led me into a career in music marketing. So I was the social media manager for the likes of Tayo Cruz, Paloma Faith, Swedish House Mafia, the Universal and Sony label. So I learned so much within that creative industry about how to use e-commerce, social media, and selling goods. And when I found out that my father's business, he wanted to digitize the business and go online in an age where growing up, he was always in the fashion industry, about 7 to 8 shops in the UK, and one by one they were downsizing to the final shop. And maybe I was so focused in tunnel vision on what I was doing, I didn't realize that the downsizing of the shops wasn't a chosen decision. It was to do with buyer behavior. A lot of people weren't shopping on the high streets anymore and shifting over to online and eBay, Amazon, and buying on e-commerce. And I think my dad, being such an artist, he's so focused on his product line that he hadn't really realized that this whole digital change had happened. It's almost like a creative destruction of an industry, like how you went from cassette to CD to MP3. He almost had that same transition for his business. So I was able to utilize some of the skills that I'd learned through the creative industries and try to help my dad take this business online. And I learned so much about the products because I had to become passionate about the products. I had to love the products. And it's quite easy because I'm here in the showroom as we, this is where the magic happens, as they say. And I'm surrounded by all these vibrant products. And this is what my dad is almost a master at. I get the ammunition and then I have to shoot it. And thankfully, the ammunition that I have is such a bold, colorful, detailed product that I love working with. And I slowly started to learn my craft, and to put clothes on people, they have to have an element of trust. So I'm in a very privileged position with some of the clients that I work with to do what I'm able to do.
Yeah, because our listeners cannot see at the moment what I see behind you. You have on display all the WWE line that you produced, and also WWE title. And of course, I want to know, first things first. Is it you that you design everything all by yourself, or you have other designers that work with you to create those WWE shirts?
So the best way I can describe the design process is this. It's not a solo effort. I do not take credit for the sole design of any product that takes here. I have a fantastic team, and my dad is the final say on everything, because I'm just going to bring a shirt into shot, and I know there are listeners, but I'll do my best to verbally describe it. Right? This is
we're gonna have a video version as well. So
one of our printed shirts here is obviously the WrestleMania edition one that we've done, and with every single shirt, there's a detailing on the actual buttons, the buttonhole stitching, as well as the inside collar and placket. So in order to create the foundations of the base of the shirt, there has to be a level of tailoring and a severe attention to detail. Now, to conceptualize what happens on the actual shirt using the wrestling motifs, that requires a fan. And myself and my brother, who's also one of my business partners, we had a ball working with this. We wanted to go down the route of just legendary iconography. There's about 13 designs that we've done, ranging from the Undertaker, DX, NWO, Ultimate Warrior, the WrestleMania one right in front of me, The Rock, HBK, the Hitman. So these are all, we wanted to go down the route of the things that we loved growing up, and we believe that people of a certain generation, people that appreciate the legendary status of these Hall of Famers, we wanted to portray that first before we went to the new gen. We're staying true to ourselves, I guess.
Yeah, and as much, much like when you're watching a TV show that you really like and season 1 ends, you really want to know if there will be a season 2. What about the shirt? Are you planning to do something like with current WWE stars or something like that?
For sure. There's always ambitions to push on and grow, not only just in shirts. We're doing a production line of boxer shorts, short sleeve shirts as well, potentially face masks in this current climate. So we're trying to not only extend our product portfolio, but we're also trying to push on with the times. We'd love to bring in some of the newer wrestlers as well, some of the ones that are glowing on our screens as we speak. So definitely got visions to do things with Bray Wyatt, potentially the New Day, the female generation coming through. We haven't shown enough love to the females on our current collection. That's something I want to do, pushing on. We have some of the pleasure of working with some of them, so we can actually work with them to get a product that is in collaboration with the superstars themselves. So keep an eye on that, and I'll be sure to give you something in the form of an exclusive when the time comes.
Whoa, that's very cool. Nice to know of you. And a couple of the names that you mentioned, like the New Day, they have amazingly colorful outfits, and that will be really interesting to translate that from a stylish perspective. that will be something I will be so keen to see. And I have to know. You mentioned also the women now. Is there any particular name that you have in mind that you would like to do a shirt for?
Oh, it has to be for sure the legit boss, Sasha Banks, and for sure Carmella. These are people, superstars that we slowly started to build a really good relationship with, and they're doing fantastic things right now. And what's striking while the iron's hot is everything. So I'd love to when we talk about this female line, I also want to incorporate female shirts. So the fitting is also for the female.
Oh yeah.
So presently, it's men's shirts with these current patterns. Of course, look, female can wear them, but I want to do designs where they're almost they're tailored for the female body as well. So it's actually lines for both men and women as well. So this was something we were testing the waters to be honest with you, Frank. It's something we just wanted to embark on this journey to see whether there would be an interest, whether we would receive love, or I guess, as with everything in professional wrestling, it's also similar to the mantra that we have here is hate it or love it. As long as you don't ignore it, you're hitting the mark in some way. As long as you're making a statement one way or another. And I feel like so far so good. I'm pleased with the collection. My only drawback from the collection so far, I'd say, is the fact that I've been unable to go to a live event to showcase these beautiful goods because of the current situation. I would love to big events like WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble. It would be an absolute honor to have these items in the stalls there, and see more and more people wearing the printed formal shirts in the arenas, because you see such a fandom for the t-shirts. That's always been the case. We've started doing this in the realm of boxing, and I've noticed this when I went to one of our clients is Tyson Fury. I do the designs for a lot of Tyson's gear, and there's an amazing synergy between Tyson and WWE as well. And when I went to Vegas as part of his styling team to see a lot of the British fans flying over wearing the printed shirts that have Tyson's motif, it brought immense feeling of pride, and so happy and proud to see our garments actually travel that far. It's amazing to actually see that happen in real life.
Yeah, and for you, growing up a wrestling fan, a WWF at the time fan, and getting now to do this work, to design those amazing shirts for not only for the public, also for some, as you said, Tyson Fury, some worldwide renowned stars, literally superstars. And is there like anyone in the wrestling business that now you have a more close working relationship with, or someone that became like an acquaintance, or even more?
Yeah, definitely. And that's a great question, because this journey in many ways wouldn't have been possible had it not been for rockstar spud Drake Maverick. I have tremendous amount of love and gratitude for Drake. He literally showed us such immense love, to the point where timing was everything. I think it was January 2018, he'd just become general manager. We had been briefly speaking on Instagram. If I draw back just a little bit further back, a couple months before 2017, I think it was a Survivor Series. It was Team Angle versus Team Shane, Raw versus SmackDown, and it's silly o'clock in the morning, 3 a.m. I think, still pre-show, and I see Wolfgang from NXT, part of the boys, wearing our shirt, and this is completely unexpected. They had Team UK coming down the ramp, the likes of Tyler, Mustache Mountain, the Gallus boys, all walking down dressed in really, really dapper outfits, and I see Wolfgang front and center wearing our clothing. My brother and I jump out of our seats. What the hell's going on, man? Did you know this was going to happen? We're asking each other, did you send this? Have you been in touch with Wolfgang? And it just so happens that Wolfgang purchased the goods from a local shop down his way in Glasgow called Blitz. And I think what happened was, because of the English boys, Scottish in his case, that the closeness between the boys, I think Drake must have got in touch, and he was familiar with our brand. And once we got in touch, it was so organic. Like he had just become general manager. He wanted to, stand out of the crowd. He has to wear a suit, speaking in front of the audience. We wanted him to make a statement, to look bold and vibrant, like his character and personality is. And we were able to style him for the whole time he was on television. He was a pleasure to work with, and he returned the favor in a big way when he came to London in 2018, when they were doing shows in Leeds and Manchester. He come to our show right here, and he saw our operation, how passionate we are about what we do, the work that we hadn't designed the WWE line yet. This was strictly garments that we wanted to tailor make for himself. And after we linked up, he said to me, look, when the time comes, I'll see you stateside. And we've been talking for many years now, and I think it was Toronto, the last SummerSlam. He invited us out, and we went to SummerSlam, and this is why I have immense gratitude for Drake. He personally introduced me to pretty much every single superstar inside the hotel that we were staying at, when he didn't have to. He put us and the brand first. He introduced us as his designers and stylists. He cut a promo for me every time I was in front of anybody. And he was so, almost humble and able and humble within himself to just share. He was like saying, I want you to meet other connections. I want your brand to grow. I want you to be able to push on. And it's almost like the underdog giving the underdog an opportunity. Do you know what I mean? So from the likes of Carmella, Corey Graves, Xavier Woods, Bray Wyatt, we met so many of the guys, and Elias, who then also now have our garments, and we have a relation. Drew McIntyre. So these are all people that he put us in front of and shamelessly promoted us. We're very good friends to this day, but he didn't have to do any of that. And immensely grateful. We're trying to build a name for ourselves, and SummerSlam's one of the big four events whereby all the superstars are put within the same vicinity, because they're working so many shows over a small amount of time that they all reside within the same place. So it was such an amazing experience. I will never forget it. It included some great stories of we were doing shots at the bar with Ric Flair, shared a glass of wine with Shane McMahon. I mean, it's just, you can't write this stuff,
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Wow, what a nice guy, Drake Maverick. He absolutely looks like he is a nice guy, but every time you get to hear stories like yours, you understand that, as you said, he didn't have to do that, but he went the extra mile to help out a business owner grow, and that's really admirable of his. Yeah, that's amazing. And
saying this, like he's not one for, he's terrible with compliments. So this is actually the first I'm sharing this. It's just like very few people in life will do something like that for you regardless, but someone like Drake to go and really want to elevate the person next to him for no reason, didn't even need to do that. He had his own work to get on with. Very busy schedule at that, but yet he was putting myself and my brother on our brand first. And opened many doors for us, and we've cemented some great relationships because of that. And that's why when everything happened with him early pandemic, I was just so happy that he just overcome everything he did to secure his role, and the love and outpouring was just immense to watch. He really deserves it, you know.
Yeah. As I said, that tells you a lot how he is. I would call it like good guy vibe resonates with people, because as you said, when it was released in April, the internet pretty much exploded, sharing his passionate promo. And that was one of the most amazing stories of the past year of 2020. That he got rehired, and I think he is even in a better position now than he was when he left. So that's so great for him. Yeah, that couldn't have happened to a nicer guy, you know.
100%. Shout out to Drake.
But Nav, watching, I was scrolling your Instagram feed because you have a lot of pictures like with wrestlers and people involved in the business, and I saw there are pretty much like. I wouldn't say most of the pictures, but many pictures with Corey Graves. Do I assume he is one of your closest friends within WWE?
I'd say my relationship with Corey and the brand's relationship with Corey is mainly strictly on a stylist basis. I respect and love Corey Graves because of the fact that he's someone that is proud to wear our garments, and he's also open to exploring really wild and vibrant designs. When we sort of put different things in front of him, he's actually, the first thing he's like, let's go for it. He likes to go big. And he's almost perfect for our brand, because he himself is larger than life character. He's happy to make, he's a love it or hate him type of guy, but at the same time, he has immense confidence within himself. Whatever the guy wears, he looks fantastic. And I always try to ensure that everything that he wears is sharp, because he's a sharp dresser, good looking guy, and he's on television week in, week out. And he puts in tremendous work rate. And for that, I love working with Corey. And I don't, with him, I feel like there's still so much more to come with some of the designs that we would like to wear. We haven't found like a niche thing for him in terms of like his look. He always tries to explore many different things. So one of my favorite looks for him actually was a WrestleMania where he wore a multicolored skull emblazoned blazer, which was such a wild look. And I rate and respect him for wanting to wear that. So he goes bold.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you if there was one look that you preferred, but you preceded me with that. Yeah, he is well known for his bold different jackets and stuff. Also, looking at the WWE collection, I can't help to notice how colorful it is. Even the darker shirts that you produced. You have one in the background now that I see that has inside is red, even though it's kind of, yep, exactly that one.
This is
what? The one for Rey Mysterio.
Of course.
Yeah, and I guess that you. Of course, you like colorful stuff, but it looks like as if those colors mean something. It doesn't look like it's just okay. Let's put it like this because it looks good. I see like some kind of a pattern of a pattern in the way you use those colors. Am I right, or am I seeing things?
Let's talk about the wrestling fan. The wrestling fan. Someone that almost wants to be part of the show, especially the ones in the arena. They chant loud. They used to bring massive signs. They still do. They wear really bold statement pieces that show that who they have an affinity towards, which wrestler, which superstar that they want to support. And it's the whole idea of wanting to be seen, wanting to be heard, to make a statement. So that the colors come into play, but they come into play in various different ways. Here, the multicolors go alongside each and every single WrestleMania logo.
Yes.
In Rey Mysterio's case, we had to study the different types of masks that he's worn over the year and try to find a synergy between what he's worn and the colors that we can emblazon on the shirt to make the shirt pop as much. So the whole idea is embodying the character and embodying the personality of the superstar. So thus, you stand out, you're seen, you're heard. You're not ignored, essentially.
Yeah. And since that collection, that WWE collection came out, did it help you to reach new audiences or even other type of professional athletes that wanted to do a similar thing?
Yeah. Look, the WWE global powerhouse. Syndicated in over 180 something countries all over the world. You're going to get eyes on not only the product that they put out, but to be able to have the relationship with the corporate side, which could be social media side, which can be the e-commerce and promotion side.
Yeah,
it taps into the audience that they presently have. And thus, of course, you're going to have so many different territories all over the world coming across and engaging with the product. Now, yes, we found a large American audience coming and purchasing the goods from the UK, as far as Malaysia, Bangladesh, and a lot of European territories as well. Purchased hundreds of shirts were sold, majority of them here in the UK, but because of like you said, the WWE brings something completely unique to the table, and that's a global fandom. That is such an attractive thing for a brand like ourselves.
Oh yeah, I can imagine that. And before you mentioned that you produced the style for Tyson Fury as well, how did that cooperation started?
The Tyson Fury collaboration is literally one of my favorite stories. It's changed a lot of the direction that my career path has taken, the way the brand has been viewed. It's brought a lot of eyes to our business. Tyson is a very good friend of mine, someone that I've shared some amazing experiences with. The way in which we met was a funny story in itself. He's preparing for his fight with Klitschko, and this was Vladimir Klitschko was pretty much undefeated in a crazy amount of years, dominated the heavyweight division, and they were going to fight in Dusseldorf, Germany. Now they did a press conference in Dusseldorf, and Tyson was standing next to Klitschko, and Klitschko was looking immensely sharp, very presidential, navy blazer, waistcoat, all the belts like around his arms like this. Tyson, on the other hand, at that present moment, was only wearing like a polo top and tracksuit bottoms, Slazenger socks. Tyson is one of the most immense boxers, one of the greatest of our time. I'm not just saying this because I'm biased, but in terms of the image that was presented to me at the time, they sent me an image saying, "Would you like to work with this man here?" And I was like, 100%, that's Tyson Fury, and he's a blank canvas. Looking at Tyson at that moment, I knew we can make him look super sharp. But next to Klitschko at the time, people would think Klitschko is the one that's going to win this fight. So they set the opportunity to go to meet Tyson on 24 hours notice. 100%, I got in the car, I grabbed the biggest items from the shelves, because he has a 220 centimeter wingspan. The sleeve length is something to consider. The height of the man is tremendous. 6'10", massive mammoth of a human. So
a legit giant.
The task itself is just a daunting one. But I drive down to Tyson's on a 6-hour drive from London to Lancaster, Morecambe. And I arrived there and I put on a series of suits onto Tyson. And the first thing I noticed is the jacket starts there on him.
At half of the length of his arm.
Pretty much. So obviously, he did take a look at the designs and was like, "Are you going to be able to sort this before my press conference?" And I said, "Leave it with me. Are you happy with the designs?" And what he liked so much about it was that I gave him this 1920s, 30s Al Capone check look So he liked the fact that he was going to his press conference with this bowl cut waistcoat, sharp shirt with a nice insert, and he thought, this is the one for me. And I give him the goods, and I go to tailor the items, take this press conference, hand over the suit to him at the press conference, and I take my seat at the first ever combat press conference I've ever been to. Super excited, and he rushes out wearing a Batman outfit, not the suit that I put him in. So obviously I'm sitting there, what the hell is going on? I'm trying to tap his wife on the shoulder, like, where's the suit? She has no idea. But what his whole thing was, he was going to come in as Batman, and then his cousin was dressed up as Joker. He runs in, disrupts the whole press conference, tipped the table over. Very, very WWE. He throws his cousin out, and then he comes back in as Bruce Wayne wearing the suit. So at that moment, I realized, with Tyson, the sense of humor, the ambitiousness, the fun, we can work with colors, we can work with patterns. I can go a little bit further than just checks and a simple white shirt. So this is how the whole thing progressed. But from that moment, I knew this is a really unforgettable character.
Whoa, that's amazing. And for probably it is a side of Tyson Fury that not many wrestling fans realize he has, because not always wrestling fans are the same people that are watching box, and vice versa. So basically, when he was put inside the square circle, many people said, okay, well, this is just another, famous boxer, and didn't realize that he is also a character. He's such a character, and it's cool to see that you are able to make it reflect by the way he is dressed. So if it depends on the situation, I guess. If it has to be more flamboyant or more stylish, or and that's interesting. I want to know another thing about your creative process. When you're working with any kind of customer that you had to create a suit tailor-made specifically for that person, how's that work? What's your literally your creative process?
Yeah. You said it best. Each situation demands a different type of outfit. We can't always go super flamboyant every single time. At the end of the day, I'm going to refer to Tyson just as the example, because he's someone that's really high profile that I have put in a variety of different looks. And the reason you asked about the creative process is that you have to also take the situation by situation. So let's take a boxing press conference, for example, where he go head to head versus his opponent. Is there any way that we can get a psychological edge? Is there another way that we can make him look better than his opponent, just so that he feels that 1% extra bit of confidence? They don't need any more confidence because they're going to go into the ring and scrap it out. But just to have that psychological edge is really, really important. I put Tyson in and designed suits that have in small pinstripe the word Dossa. And the word Dossa was used as a derogatory term towards Deontay Wilder to inflame and irritate Deontay. So when Tyson's standing opposite Deontay, he has to read what's written on the suit, and he's saying to him, "You're a Dossa. Basically, you're nothing. You're lazy. You're a twat. You're a twat." It's just something rude to get a little bit of a psychological edge. But conversely, at the same time, in their first meeting, Tyson had to fly to the US, and they had set the scene for a American battleship, and they were going to have the head-to-head there. So I put Tyson in a shirt that had flying Spitfires, which is World War II plane, and I also had him in a red and grey pinstripe jacket to make him look like a war general, like Great Britain's going to war against the US. So it's like telling the story through the garments, trying to portray a sense of atmosphere, trying to make my client stand out, make my client look the best that he can, and get people talking. At the end of the day, it's entertainment. It's we're putting on a show. It's Las Vegas, baby. You know, that's the type of the whole glitz and glam of it. So the creative process really begins with what is the situation and how can we tell a story. That's kind of where it begins, and then obviously taking what's in your brain and trying to convey it onto a digital platform such as your Photoshops, your Illustrators, your Lightrooms, and then you have to, and this is why I say that credit goes to the team, because I have designers that are able to look into your mind, put it on a bit of fabric, and then we get samples made, and then you get the finished product.
Yeah, well, I guess that you have very, very creative people working with you to be able to understand, to read your mind that well, and create things based on your ideas. I was navigating your website, and it's full of amazing stuff. Not only the WWE shirt, everything is so colorful. Even the promo pictures are very unusual, very catchy. They catch your attention whenever you watch, you look at those pictures. And yeah, that to me means Claudio Lugli at this moment, because I associate that with the old brand.
Thank you. That's an amazing compliment. I really appreciate that. That's the whole idea and mantra of our brand. And for you to say you associate, you know, colors and prints and patterns, and that makes you think of us, that's an amazing compliment. Because when we first set off, 0 followers. It took me 2 months to get my first sale. I was getting laughed out of meetings and rooms trying to get people to stock our clothing. This is too much. I don't think politely, but I don't think my clientele would be interested in this type of product. And this is about 5-6 years ago. So for now, for people to embrace or even have the confidence to wear it, you might have to be of a certain age. You know, a lot of young people, they want to wear just simple whites, blacks, grays, neutral colors, and I get that, I get that. But for people that want to be bold, to make a statement, that don't mind showing off their personality through their garments, we believe we have a shirt for everybody in terms of the themes that we do. But yeah, no, I really appreciate what you just said.
Yeah, I'll actually make sure to check if you have a shirt made for me as well, because I like those kind of colorful. Not judging by what I'm wearing now, which is all black, but usually
I'm the same, dude. I'm the same.
Usually, I like very colorful shirts. That's those are literally my favorite. Well, Nav, thank you so much. That was an amazing chat. And before I let you go, just plug in all of your channels, all of your contacts, information, whatever you want to plug in.
Yeah, thank you. If you're interested in checking out the collection or seeing what we do, come to ClaudioLugliShirts.com, and you can follow us on Instagram, Claudio_Lugli, and Twitter, Claudio_Lugli. And yeah, if you want to follow my journey and some of the familiar faces that I look after personally, I'm at Navsta, Navsta. And yeah, Frank, I'm sure I'll be seeing more of you. Thank you for giving me a platform to share my stories.
Dude, that was amazing. That was really interesting, and thanks you for coming onto the show. Oh, just one last quick question: is there anybody, not even just a wrestler, anybody in sports in general, that you will want to design something for?
The Rock.
The Rock. Oh, great, amazing answer.
I got a lot of love for The Rock.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, who doesn't, man? Who doesn't? Yeah, The Rock. Immense, a real superstar, someone I grew up on. Doing tremendous things in Hollywood as it stands. I'd love to work with him. It'll be awesome. Let's manifest it here. Who knows?
Yeah. Let's do that. I had the chance to interview Chris Van Fleet a couple of weeks ago, and he interviewed The Rock 9 times.
Wow.
And he says that The Rock knows that for pretty much everybody get to meet with The Rock is a big deal. So he wants to make sure that you have the complete experience of meeting The Rock. You're not meeting just a guy, just an actor. You are when you go and meet with him, you are meeting The Rock, and that's amazing. That's amazing. And I wish you could fulfill this dream of yours. That would be great. I want to be the first one to know. I want to be the first one to break the news whenever that happens. Okay?
Don't worry, I've got you back, man. I was very nervous coming on here. It's the first time I've done a wrestling podcast talking about this. Look, I just hope that I have more time in this beautiful, wonderful, weird industry that I've always dreamed of wanting to be in. I'm a privileged guest in the house of WWE and professional wrestling. Long may it continue, and keep an eye out for the next collection. We're going to go bigger and better.
Perfect. Can't wait for it. Nav, thank you so much for coming. Ciao. Hey, thank you for listening. Before you go, remember that your actions matter. You can help build the LMW Podcast community by following Frank on Twitter and other social medias by searching at LMW Podcast. Visit the official website, which is lmwpodcast.com. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and a follow on Spotify. Extra kindness points for you if you become a supporter on Patreon, Ko-fi and PayPal, or if you buy some merchandise from the official LMW store. I've been Frank Mandolini, and you stay safe.